What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 44. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Bring his bones in one bag and his body in another, okay?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And the returning one, Brett Murdock.
What's up, everybody?
All right, we are here for another crazy episode now. Before we start, a couple of things we had to run by. First of all, Brett, how are you doing? How's Rachel doing? What's going on with that?
We're both exhausted. Rachel's doing well. She's out of surgery. She's home from the hospital. She is morphined up and cranky at the world, as one would expect when you feel like you've got hit by a bus or, you know, hung out with Edward Scissorhands or some shit like that.
To be fair, Rachel's usually cranky at the world, though.
Yeah, no, she's just in general in pain and cranky, and like it's frustrating not being able to do anything except fucking lay there. And half the time she can't even play video games, but she's been managing to play some video games, Ark, of course, lately because that game is awesome and the devs are genius. Other than that, well, no, there is no other than that. That's pretty much been it. Like, we hit a fucking time vortex, and damn, she spent a week in the hospital. I spent off and on a week in the hospital, pretty much not when I wasn't sleeping. They don't give you anywhere to fucking sleep there.
Yes, hospitals, dude.
Hospitals are just, they're like, we won't make you leave. That's what they say to you. We won't make you leave.
Yeah, exactly. They won't make you leave, but they'll make it very, very, very uncomfortable to stay.
It's like, but do you have like a pillow or anything? They're like, you can go home.
Yeah, they're like, no. You're like, God damn it. But other than that, everything's good. We're so glad to be home, and we're really looking forward to being on the upswing of this whole thing instead of fucking terrified. Yeah. Like, it's all uphill from here, and that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's good to hear, man. And glad you're back. Go ahead, man.
Hold on 1 second.
We are hanging on. While we're hanging on.
Well, yeah, I'm Rachel was walking by. I didn't know if you guys wanted to say hi to her.
Yeah, she can say hi. Hi, Rachel.
Hold on.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, Rachel?
Hi, I'm on drugs.
You sound like you're on drugs.
And I'm in pain.
No. That sucks.
So that's why I'm on the drugs.
Yes. Hopefully, like Brett said, you're going to be on the upswing now,
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm looking forward to reclaiming life again. I'm looking forward to taking a real shower again, actually. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Sponge baths suck.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, hospitals suck, sponge baths suck, everything sucks. Everything sucks right now. I want to cry. I hate being on these drugs. Anyway, I'll get you back to Brett, because otherwise he'll just turn it into a sad fest, so.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll feel better.
Miss you guys.
Love you, Rachel.
And I'm back.
Awesomeness. All right, so yeah, everything's going to be on the upswing, even though it sucks right now because all the pain and all that other bullshit, but that's life, I guess. Sucks. All right, other thing, by the way, need to apologize to some of our MP3 listeners specifically. You guys didn't get Throwdown for a week. I would actually really apologize, but it wasn't our fault because SoundCloud sucks. They changed their shit again. You have to manually set it for RSS feeds because most of our listeners don't come from SoundCloud. They come from elsewhere, mostly iTunes, and they weren't getting the good stuff. But
they literally got a Throwdown dump over the weekend.
Yeah, I threw 3 episodes up, and I was very happy that they each got a bunch of plays like within the first couple of hours. So,
yeah, I mean, I hate when they do these sorts of things, and I hate when they do these sorts of things and they don't actually let you know. They're just like, all of a sudden, it doesn't do this.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? You're like, oh, you have to manually put the RSS feed. I was like, I never had to do that shit for like 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, just, at this point, we just have to just be wary of whatever things that we see or changes that they do because, they don't let you know.
Yeah, but this was brought to my attention from our boy Kill Axel. Thank you for that. So yeah, guys, if anything ever happens, please do not hesitate. Let us know. Remember, we don't take breaks here without letting you know first. Okay.
Exactly.
You know, unless otherwise stated, there will always be a new throwdown, new throw your questions. We will not just randomly abandon you like that. That doesn't happen.
Exactly. So yeah, just if you notice that we've gone on without for a while, and we haven't said anything, or we didn't leave any announcements on the coalition, or even on our Twitters, or even the official Throwdown Twitter, just let us know if you run into these problems, because a lot of times we don't see these things, especially from our side. We just see, hey, it uploaded to SoundCloud. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we see, exactly. So yeah, thank you, Killax, and the other guys. Let us know. Remember, Throwdown doesn't go on hiatus randomly. If we're gonna go on hiatus, we'll fucking let you know weeks in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll try to be more vigilant of that stuff. We'll check.
Yeah, I mean, the next planned hiatus is like probably Christmas or something. Like, we don't go on breaks here, really.
No, we don't. Throwdown goes strong all year round, except for a few times.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and the last thing, I wanted to tell you guys my initial thoughts about the Street Fighter 5 beta, which is live now, but womp womp. Where's the sound effect here? Here we go. This shit isn't working, but people are pissed off. But at the same time, it's a beta. This is what it's meant to be for, right? So
yeah, it's meant to be broken so that they can fix it.
Exactly. So it sucks that I couldn't give you impressions, but I probably will when I get in there and stuff. Make sure to ask those questions for a certain show we do.
Yes, I wonder what question show that we do that you should ask questions on.
Somebody's gonna ask, "Hey, is the game working yet?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, see, perfect.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be just no, it ain't.
It ain't working.
By the way, before we start, hold on, let me turn my fucking overlay off real quick. Then we're all wearing similar shirts here, Chris.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
We got the Metal Gear theme going.
Yeah, for some reason.
For some reason.
Oh, we're insane. All right, let's get this started. This topic came this afternoon. If you guys saw my Twitter rant, you know why this is the #1 topic. As usual, I think I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna start blocking people who post Polygon links, because Polygon gets under my nerves, man. So they posted this story. Now, granted, they didn't make the story; they just linked it from somewhere else. But basically, it was this thing where, like, they took video game characters and made them fat to make them more realistic. And Polygon's headline was, "Oh, they made these video games not like sexual fantasies." And I'm like, wait, when the fuck did being skinny and like fit become a sexual fantasy? Like, really? Like, it's insane. Like, oh no, this is what normal people were like. No, that's not what normal people look like. Normal people, or most normal people, excluding America, are like thin or regular. Okay, they're not like, they don't look like me, basically.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, a lot of times, though, on the internet, people do these things to these characters because they find it sexy. Like,
that's the other thing.
A lot of people find, they find bigger, like a lot of bigger women very, very sexy. So why, what are they trying to say with this? Like, other than the fact that, like, I like fatter women, right?
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to say too. It's like, hey, if you're fat, you're not sexy.
Yeah, why? Yeah, are you trying to say that too?
But I just find I'm like, wait. If you're skinny, you're automatically like overly sexualized. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, you look at, that is, number one, that's them rebelling against the media that they supposedly work for.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Because the media is what put out that image of beauty. People did not put out that image of beauty. Look at a person like Betty Page, for instance. Yeah. She wasn't a rail.
Betty Page is my favorite. Marilyn Monroe was like a size 12 or something like that.
Exactly.
And who do I talk to about getting angry at the female trashy women novel shit that you find with like Fabio and that shit on the cover? Who do I yell at to go, angrily at that they portray an unrealistic standard of men, which is perfect because I don't fucking care and I have no business in women's romance novels.
Exactly.
So it's literally the perfect fucking analogy. Like, what fucking business is it of mine? They're perfectly fine. They're not hurting anybody. But so I should go in there and stamp around and be like, I don't see a representation of a skinny pale guy on any of your fucking romance novels, and quite frankly, I'm upset that you're not representing my standard of beauty. I think
Yes.
I'm going to design all your romance novels to fucking look like me, so that I can feel better about myself. Also, I have to throw this out.
Brett, thank you for being back on, man.
I have to throw this out. Fucking Fat Riku is hilarious. Like, I haven't laughed that hard at a picture in quite a while. So, and Sonya Blade, oh my god, did you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sonya Blade, like, she looks like a dumpy bull dyke. Like, you could not have made, like, there are thicker girls. Like, we were even saying today, we were watching Ascension, and some girl, I forget which one, I think it was the one with the bangs, comes out. And Rachel's like, man, she's got a little bit of thunder thighs. And I was like, personally, I like thicker thighs on a lady. And she's like, oh, I wasn't saying it like it was a bad thing. So there's tastes that fucking run the gamut. But
Yeah.
whoever did these did them in the most unappealing way if they were trying to fucking prove a point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, this is what normal women look like. I'm like, normal women don't look like the fucking blob. Like, come on now, you know?
Well, it's not even that. It's not even their size. Like, and Manuel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When it's a waist to hip ratio that is generally found appealing, these women are designed in the most muffin toppiest way possible. Like,
Yeah.
they've got jowls and extra chins. Like, it's not even that their size is good. They're just, they hold weight like a woman who's clearly not designed to be that size. And I don't know how to explain it other than you can look at people by their bone structure, and generally you can tend to tell how big they're supposed to be. I would look hilarious as a fat guy. Matt, who's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, looked hilarious as a fat guy because it's not really what matches their body structure or their metabolism. And all the portrayals in this that look like women that clearly aren't meant to be women. It looks like they just fed them milkshakes until they ballooned out from every possible angle.
Yeah, I mean, rather than try to take a realistic approach to this sort of this sort of exercise, they literally just went the extreme and said, all right, so now they're this. It's like,
Well,
no.
And both Christy and Cortana, they don't look bad. Christy
No.
looks better. Cortana, I'm just fine with that change. But like the other ones, like some of these are just really ham-fisted.
Yeah, the Riku one is the funniest one
Yeah.
of them all, man.
Yeah,
Like,
the Riku one is really like girl, you need to. I've known fat girls that need to put on more clothes, and that's like a stunning example of that. Like, I'm sorry, cosplay to your body type. If you look like this, don't cosplay as Riku. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go cosplaying as anybody from Gears of War or any Blizzard game. Let's be fucking honest here. We've all seen me on the podcast. It would be a bad fit.
Yeah, but I just find it hilarious that this is what they consider to be real portrayals of women. No, it fucking isn't.
That's
Come
not
on
even.
now.
These aren't even real portrayals of women
Yeah,
as much
they're
as
not
the
real.
portrayals of women, as they are in the video games. But the thing is that also you have to remember that video games are in the business of selling fantasy. You're probably not going to play a character is going to look ugly.
Yeah, exactly. It's like no one. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I think what they were trying to do, which Polygon got twisted around, is these guys want more diversity in game character design, and they went about it in the weirdest way possible. This is not helping them. Like photoshopping Lara Croft to look chunky. Also, her feet got twice the size, and last time I checked, fat people don't get fat in their feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like photoshopping these pictures of already they're. I don't know if they realize that video game characters are fake. So photoshopping fake characters and saying, well, this is what real women look like is the biggest irony.
Yeah.
And also that, it's like, if you want to speak to diversity, yes, there's people of all sizes. Yes, people find, all sorts of women attractive. Fat girls, skinny girls, tall girls, short girls, like whatever. Like, everyone has different tastes. Nobody would say, oh, skinny is a sexual fantasy. It's like, wait a minute, I know guys who like fat chicks. It's like,
Yeah.
these guys like all sorts of chicks. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This guys who like Asian chicks. These guys like, white chicks, black chicks, whatever. it's weird. So it's weird. It's like from their narrow perspective, Polygon's got their little narrow perspective. It's like big boobs or whatever. That's sexy, you know. It's like, well, to you think that. But I think what the message should have been is like they want more diverse characters in games, and it's like this is a very odd way to go about it.
I mean, also, I mean, if they really should have tried to if they were going to do an article about this, which of course they're not even spending the real time on, they're just taking some shit from the internet they found, but really hire somebody out there to redesign characters that feel like they might be a character that would fit. You know what I mean? As opposed to just photoshopping fat onto characters. Why not redesign Riku? Why not redesign Lara Croft? Or Cortana to be more diverse, as opposed to just doing a shitty Photoshop job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? As a designer and illustrator, that's kind of offensive, because it's like, oh yeah, you just add some fat to somebody and that makes a person diverse.
Yeah,
thank you. And I also want to point out, like, because I'm pretty sure it's a unanimous decision here. Is there anybody in this room right now that would argue with a slightly thicker female standard? Like, I personally would like it. I'd like more curve to girls. This whole fucking looking like a bird thing or a coat rack, like, that's for models and shit. And I've long been a proponent of, if you want to see what guys are looking for, don't look at models, look at porn. And porn stars are fucking stacked. They're thick. Have you ever seen a porn star in their clothes? They look a little bit chunky in certain ways.
But
and
they look right chunky, not bad chunky.
Exactly. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if we're going to identify the issue, and I think this is really pulling the curtain back on the whole thing, the issue isn't size, the issue is body type. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, if you're running and jumping and rolling through the jungle, you're probably a little bit more fucking athletic. And again, like, I kind of understand where Manny's coming from. Like, if you're going to design a fucking character, you're going to design them with the idea of where they're coming from, what they're made out of. Unless you want to make just a completely one-dimensional cliche thing, you're going to put a little bit of back thought into it. You're not going to be like Rob fucking Liefeld and be like, I don't know, he has 87 pouches. Why? I don't know. What is he keeping them? I don't know. They look cool
stuff.
Yeah, because it's basically like, look at these pictures. They took a bunch of fighting game chicks and made them fat. Like, if she's a fighter, she's not going to be fat. Think about that. Lara Croft is not going to be fat. She's climbing fucking mountains all the time.
She might be, but she'd be a fucking archetype. Like, even all guys are in archetypes. Like, you have bigger guys, but, a lot of times it's like the guy with the stogie in his mouth, the 5 o'clock shadow, and, like, the big pot gun that's like, let's get it done. Like, that guy is a fucking bigger guy. You have the Papa Bear type. You have the fucking wrestler type. You have the kind of guy that's built kind of like a gorilla. You have all these different body types and face types for men, and there are really good different ones. Like, fucking look at anime. Anime uses a lot of different I don't even know the word for it. A lot of different base face shapes. Not everything's just the fucking oval with the U under it. Some female faces are more square. Some female faces are longer. Some female faces are shorter and heart-shaped. Like, there's a lot of way to do variants while still being attractive and having different body types. Anime is another great example of that. You have really skinny, almost preteen-looking girls, and then you have just the va-va-voom fucking teacher with her double D's spilling out. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, that's cool. And if you fucking, like, you can't fucking go on the internet without running into sexualized manga pictures and everything like that. And if you look at the really sexualized ones, it's always fucking like, they always have a couple of rolls and whatnot. And the artist doesn't try and hide that. In fact, they put fucking glisten on that motherfucker. And it's not because men hate skinny chicks. Like, just fucking get over your own shit and quit trying to establish your reality on our fantasy, because I'm sorry if it doesn't fit.
Yeah, a lot of this comes from the fact that a lot of these people complain are insecure about their own body types. A lot of women are insecure about their own body types, so they see women that with body type they would like to have, right? And they get pissed off. Oh, they gotta look like me. It's like, maybe you don't look like all women, Like, I would say most women don't look like these crazy caricatures they put up there. Let's just.
They made them all look like Anita Sarkeesian.
Hey, she's not bad looking, by the way. Like I told you, she got a badunkadunk a little bit. She's not bad.
No, she's a little bit thicker girl. Like, it's.
Hey, despite what I think about her, I find her very physically attractive. She's thick in the right way. Most women are like that. They're not like fucking little thin things or blobs, you know? Yeah.
Well, let's come from the other direction. I think that even if a woman looking at this feels like, hey, you know, I don't look like that. Maybe they're not jealous of it, but I think there's definitely a sector of women who look at this stuff just feeling underrepresented in the media, right? And they are, right? You know, anything. You look at magazines, movies, TV, video games, whatever. Like you're not really seeing that, right? Like, you know, a lot of things are underrepresented. It's like, you know, black people could go to movies and say, well, I don't see black characters in 90% of the movies I watch, and it's true, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't. Besides Samuel L. Jackson and Morgan Freeman, I don't know. You could count on one hand how many black actors you see in the
black actors.
Right. So it's the same thing. I don't think they're all angry. Like whatever the bulimia.com shit with this is, they went about it the wrong way, and the message is unclear. Like they just seem like they're pissed off. It's like this is what these women should look like. Well, first of all, I would get in trouble, and any other artist would if I started photoshopping game art from other sources. You're treading on thin ice right there, and it doesn't look right. But the second thing is like just say that you feel that other archetypes, other body types are underrepresented in games, and then start doing something about it, right? Like instead of photoshopping these pictures, like Manny said, start designing alternate characters and get some stuff into the media and just get out there the right way, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, and it's like get into indie stuff, like start making other characters, say like, hey, we designed this and this is more of what we want to see. Then you start having a conversation. Don't have a conversation when you do this guerrilla, this is what these characters should look like. We want Lara Croft to have chunky feet and like, you know, like a weird body. It's like, well, that doesn't fit her. She's not designed like that. If you redesign her, maybe said, hey, we want mountaineering explorer woman who looks more like this, then that's a different story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A warrior woman who carries a big battle axe. But real quick, before we get too far into this rabbit hole, I want to take a minute and place the blame where it actually should be, because this could very easily get off track or land where it shouldn't. This was posted in a bulimia forum. So, A, there's going to be clear bias there. And
Yeah.
B, this is a support forum for women who have a real sickness. So the bias is not unwarranted in the realm of let's get together and try and feel good about being a little bit bigger. Because sometimes, especially from that kind of thing, you need to rebound a little bit. Like you may see yourself as big as some of the ladies in these pictures, but you're not actually that big. That is the sickness.
I have a problem with how they're presenting the message. It's like you don't take a real sickness with real women and take fictional characters from video games and start altering them. There are real women, like I've seen pictures of bulimia, and it looks horrible. Like you see their bones and their skeleton, they're horribly underweight and they're horribly sick, right? But if you look at, like, why aren't they pulling something from, like, the cover of Cosmopolitan, which is also heavily photoshopped? All those pictures are all the time, and they make perfect women. It's like, why didn't say, this is a real woman and blow that up? It's like, instead of blowing up a video game character.
Or
That
even just taking a Cosmopolitan cover and showing it without the Photoshop.
Without all the
stuff,
photoshopping, exactly. Like where women have skin flaws and fat rolls and stuff that are just pulled and stretched and tucked in and like altered, and they just recolor it, and it's like perfect, the ideal human being. Here it is on the cover, because they're all twisted like that, and we're in America especially, we're hugely guilty of that. Like all this photo retouching, all this stuff for all these pictures. So this idealized version of the body. But both men and women, they do it. Go pick up Men's Health. Go pick up Cosmo. Go pick up any.
Yeah, they're all
like,
Photoshop.
Just go watch Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. Both the main characters, the main actors of that film have what Hollywood considers weight problems.
Well, okay, and I'm not disagreeing on that. The only point I want to make is that I lay the blame of this entire fucking fiasco on Polygon for taking what is supposed to be inside literature for a group of sick women and bannering it around the internet like some self-righteous asshole just to get fucking clicks and hits. This is a prime example of white knighting. Do you think you're helping these bulimic women by doing this? By dragging their struggle into the public spotlight for all to criticize? Especially when it's not that well thought out like that. They weren't doing anybody any harm, but now they fucking are by your vehicle. Now this has become a public debate. Now we've all been drug into this, and indirectly or directly, these women who are already struggling with something are now having their plight highlighted when all they probably wanted to do was focus on getting better. And I just want to go on public fucking record to say that I place that blame squarely on the feet of Polygon, and how fucking dare you exploit sick women for your own financial and personal gain. That fucking sickens me and should not be supported.
Yeah, well said, man. Exactly. None of us actually had a problem with the original post. It was the way Polygon presented it. That's the fucking problem, because it was clearly done for fucking hits. They should be ashamed of themselves. But this is Polygon. What do you expect? You know.
Well, the thing is that this goes back to all these things. To the things that we've put, all these.
We will be bringing that up later on.
I'm going to say this. In general, all of these gaming sites, people, with the exception of IGN. And what is it? Game Informer. What are they? They are glorified blogs.
It's true.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it for a second, and think about that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that idea later on, because we got another crazy example. But yeah, Brett summed it up nicely. All right, let's move on to some gaming news. Speaking about Lara Croft. Okay, so today the news came out that the game is coming to PS4, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I'm like, duh. Do you people not, what part did you not understand of timed exclusive holiday 2015? It means it's exclusive for the holiday 2015. Outside of that,
that's it. Dude, for holiday 2000, all you need to do is holiday 2015, right? They do it in the holiday. All that means they could just wait till
But it means
February.
Outside of 2015, that's it.
Yeah, 2016.
It's not a hard concept.
It isn't a hard concept, but people are so surprised by this. Like, why?
Here's the thing. People need to be told these things. And
Even
then
though they were told.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they're not listening to that. They don't hear time, they hear the word exclusive.
Idiots.
Plain and simple. They hear exclusive, they hear Xbox, and that's it. That's what they hear. Most games in general are not exclusives. With the exception of Street Fighter, at least for now, but even that I think is going to happen. It's going to be on an Xbox One.
Yeah, well, remember, Street Fighter V is exclusive. They didn't say anything about Ultra Street Fighter V. I know they said we'll get to that later. But anyway, so yeah, I'm like, people, they said it already. Holiday 2015. Why the fuck are you surprised? Anyway, to the other stuff. So the PC's going to get it early 2016, and PS4 is going to get it like 2016. So I guess if you don't want an Xbox and you want this game, just wait a year. And that's probably going to be the ultimate version of the game. It's going to have all the shit added to it and everything, all the DLCs and stuff.
Yeah, so it's essentially going to be the definitive edition, whatever you want to call the damn thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I'm like, people, they said it. It was right there in the language. Pay attention, please.
Well, no, again, everything. The number one, they have to understand that people are just going to pay. People have selective hearing in general, and they're just going to hear. And they're just going to hear the big things. They're going to hear exclusive. They're going to hear Xbox. They're going to hear these things, just like the same thing they hear with some of the other ones. So they just have to make it maybe they couldn't make it painfully clear at the time, as to what it was. I don't know why, but
and then they said it like a couple months ago too, like in a financial report. They said timed exclusive. What is so hard to understand about? I don't get it. But you're right. People just don't listen. It's selective hearing. That's what.
Yeah, it's all selective. So
exactly.
You just cherry pick the information and then get into an uproar.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Street Fighter V because I kind of like what they're doing with the whole DLC thing. If they stick with it, because it could change it. So anyway, one disc, right, and then all the updates will be free, and all the new characters will be unlockable through the actual game. You don't have to. You can pay for it if you want, but you don't have to. that's a big change from usual Capcom releasing 5 million versions of one fucking game. You know, so that's pretty good. We'll see if they stick to that.
I'm
yeah.
seeing something very interesting here, where they're actually taking the stance of a game that does have, you can pay to play it, pay to do the certain things in there, but you don't need to.
Yeah, but all the character balances, which is the reason Capcom has said that they've always released 1 million versions. That's all just going to come normally now, you know, free, like an update. That's it. You don't have to, you know, get another disc, which is good, you know, because nobody needs to be buying 5 million versions of Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, but you know, again, it's like people here are going to hear like pay to play. Oh my God, fuck them, you know, all that shit. So.
Yeah,
but
and
you
also,
can choose to. I mean, I take the game Guilty Gear. I mean, most of the characters can be unlocked in that game by just doing the usual unlockable stuff.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. So I'm glad Street Fighter's finally learning that. You know, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're still going to charge you. I just hope they don't do some bullshit where, like, you have to beat the game with every character with a perfect on every round in order to unlock a character. That'd be fucked up, you know?
Well, yeah, if they have this crazy internal game money or point system that they can rig so that it's really, really, really hard to unlock something, or you can just pay us $5 and get it, right? Nobody wants that either.
Yeah, so hopefully it won't do that shit, but who knows, man. But anyway, it's a step in the right direction. Let's see how well they stick with it. And in other Street Fighter news, I want to talk about the EVOs real quick. EVO happened over the weekend. Street Fighter 4 was big, obviously. They announced a new character for Street Fighter 5. He's like a mix of like Blanca, Evo Ryu, and like Wolverine. Seems pretty cool. Now, I want to talk about EVO real quick because I saw the tail end of it with Street Fighter. Really cool stuff. But Chris, do you remember that video I sent you, man? Guilty Gear? That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Forgot the guy's name, like Bumblebee or something. Like this guy, he beats this guy in a round. He puts his controller down, starts celebrating, and the guy, like, dude, you didn't finish yet. So his opponent sees he's just standing there. He just beats the shit out of him and wins the fucking match.
I don't think he realized, like, he was still, like, you know, cheering, and then he turned around, and they're like, "What are you doing, man?" And he tried to get back to his controller. Oh, it was so embarrassing. Like, you felt bad for him. Like, he shook the guy's hand, but he was on the floor later. I was like, this.
Yo, man, showboating. Don't showboat. You got.
Yeah, because the guy wasn't dead. Like it didn't say like the fight was over. He just got up and he was like, "That's it, my combo won." Even though the game didn't say it was done, and the other guy beat the shit out of him after that. What a comeback!
Yeah, it's like, dude, you just won a round. You didn't win the match. What the fuck are you doing?
He's just happy. Yeah. He's just happy to be competing in EVO, right?
I guess. But Guilty Gear is a fun game to watch live, man. I'll tell you that, man. You know, we see professional playing that game, fucking nuts. Really entertaining. So I'm glad that game's getting shine. And I need to bring this up. Every game that was played there was essentially either a new game or the newest game, except for one. Melee, Smash Brothers Melee, again. Like, come on, guys. You won't play the new shit, you know? Like, what is it about Melee that these guys don't let go of it?
Weren't they playing the Xbox version of Street Fighter 4 though?
They couldn't play the PlayStation 4 version.
So that's
yeah. You know, it's just
so they weren't playing the newest version.
No, they weren't playing the weren't playing the latest version of Street Fighter. They weren't playing Street Fighter 2, like Street Fighter 4 vanilla. They're playing Ultra Street Fighter 4, the latest edition. Meanwhile, these guys are playing fucking Melee on like GameCube controllers.
He's talking about Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Smash Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, they still set up GameCubes and play Smash Bros. Melee. They're not using Brawl. They're not using
It's because those newer iterations of Smash Brothers, as much as they said that they balanced those games, they are not balanced.
Well, was Melee balanced though? Because I know some players like, no, that game's not balanced at all. They have this one move that, like, you know, Chris, you know the name of the move, right? This like kind of move that gets you across the screen faster. That some people don't seem to like that.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but yeah, I mean they kind of balance it on a Brawl, but a lot of these guys don't like. I mean, you can turn off items, but they don't like items, and the lag. That's what gets them. I guess they think there's, especially with the new one, that there's input lag, even with the new GameCube controllers. In the Wii U, they just don't. They don't want it. Like, they can't deal with it, so they just like discount.
I also think that definitely it is the part of it is the input lag, because even when one of those controllers is connected to the console, it's still running through through Bluetooth. Like the signals are still being sent through Bluetooth despite them being connected to the console.
Yeah, it just seems funny, and I guess a little bit of a microcosm to Nintendo in general. It's like everybody's here, everybody's doing this, and then they're over here in the little corner doing that. It's like it's weird, but I mean that game wasn't even supposed to be a fucking tournament game. Even what's his face, Kasurai, whatever. He was like Sakurai. He was like, this is not a tournament game. What the fuck are you guys doing? Silliness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel bad because he did try to accommodate them with the new game, but they don't want it. They don't. They can't because, the Wii U really wasn't designed for that stuff. It's not going to make these guys happy. So what are you going to do?
Exactly. All right, go ahead, Ben. Brett?
I was just going to say maybe, I don't know, pander to the people who are actually buying your product instead of people who don't actually care.
Yeah, but Nintendo's not going to do that.
I'm just saying. Like,
you're making too much sense. Stop doing that.
Your dad has to play Smash Brothers, so he needs items and a big controller, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just keep telling me about how the new Nintendo stuff is just as good as it was in their heyday.
Yeah. Oh man!
You
all right.
Hear that from me.
Yeah. Right.
Keep telling me how Nintendo's a real system.
Yeah. By the way, perfect segue. Project Cars is not coming to the Wii U because, as the developers say, it is not powerful enough to handle it. Hey guys, I thought Wii U was a current gen system. Why can't it play a current gen game? Because it's not current gen. That's why. Here's
the big question I want to ask. What about all the people that paid for the Kickstarter to get it on the Wii and the Wii U? Are those people going to get a refund?
I maybe. I know that the main part of the Kickstarter was for Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and then I think it was either a stretch or something that they would work on a Wii U version. So I don't know if that was outright promised, but here's the thing: the progress reports for Project Cars said that the Wii U version was coming along, and they were making progress, and they were doing stuff. And then near the end, they just hit this wall where they were having optimization issues and whatever, because they hit the wall of the system, like they couldn't make it do anymore, and they probably were running into all sorts of slowdowns, frame rate issues, and whatever. And
the problem, I'm sure Nintendo was really bad for QA on anything.
Of course.
Nintendo wasn't going to help them, so they were on their own, and the fanboys were not helping them, and we talked about that before, where they went on the forums and started insulting them, and the Project Cars team was probably just like, you know what, fuck it, we just want to move on to the other game, and we're tired of this, so they probably killed it before they waste too many soft dollars trying to fix something that is not going to work. You're not going to get the level that you got out of PS4, Xbox One. The quality of the frame rates with your game on the Wii U, and you'd have to make too many concessions to make it work. And probably they showed it to Bandai, and they were just like, this doesn't look very good, just drop it, and they did.
Yeah, and don't forget the other part, why work on a version of a game that's not going to sell? Let's just be honest. What's the fucking point?
That's also, you're going to spend all this development time to try to get this thing to work. At the same time, how do we even know that any of the Nintendo fans will even want to be interested in a game like this?
They won't be. They want Mario Kart. They don't want fucking Project Cars.
And the thing is, it's like, if you want a kind of superior version of the game, you can either buy an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4.
Or a PC. And then, they were having problems keeping at 720p, 30 frames a second. It's like, I thought this was a modern console, guys. That's what you guys have been saying for like 2 years now. It's current gen.
No,
it was current gen when the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox 360 were out.
Current gen to last gen.
It's a freaking overclocked Wii. That's all it is. All it is. You guys yelling that it was like, it's next gen or whatever. No, it's not.
And what's the Wii? It's an overclocked GameCube. Let's just be real.
Yeah. That's all it is.
They've been harping on the same architecture for years now.
3 generations now.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, PC components have become mainstreamed and generalized to the point where they could put together an off-the-shelf system running off a basic Windows system that they could code for pretty fucking easily, because their whole revenue input system is based around exploiting their trademark. So it doesn't fucking matter having a proprietary system that nobody can figure out because of their licensing.
Oh, Chris, tell them why they won't use Windows.
Well, the thing with Nintendo, and this is something I learned inside, is they won't use a lot of Sony and Microsoft products. Like, they will use Windows and like their computers and stuff, but they will not license anything from Microsoft because they consider them a competitor because of the Xbox. It's the same reason you go to E3 and look at all the display TVs in Nintendo's booth and find one that says Sony on it. You won't. You won't find anything that is made by Sony or made by Microsoft other than if they have to use it because they consider them a competitor.
Wow. Insane.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
tell him,
Xbox,
Steve Dave.
Yeah. Insane. Meanwhile, Xbox is using fucking Blu-ray technology. You know, Sony's using Microsoft. Come on, guys, get with it.
Yeah, there was the thing is that there's Microsoft components inside of the PlayStation. There are Sony components inside of the Xbox. This is all known.
Nintendo, what else can we say that we haven't already said? Oh man. All right. Last story. I threw this in here just for Manny because it got you a little angry. So basically, video went around, showing that maybe Kojima was hinting at his whole troubles with Konami. Thing is, Manny saw this months ago.
The funny thing about it is that the gaming media is getting really slow to the punch with a lot of these stories. Like this story that just showed up right now. That thing was like the minute that they started talking about Kojima leaving. That video similar to that showed up on the internet saying, "Oh, wait a minute, could he have been dropping clues that he's going to be leaving?"
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I should explain to people what the video is. So basically, in the video, there's a section of the game. It was the Metal Gear Solid throwback section, right?
Yeah.
And you get to you find logos of all the Metal Gear games, and you can actually erase them with your light gun. But the thing is, you could only erase the ones by Hideo Kojima. You couldn't erase the ones that he didn't work on. And they even jabbed that acid. They were like, hey, I can't erase this one. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Things like that. But yeah, you could only erase the Kojima ones. And people were trying to say, hey, was he trying to say that Konami is trying to erase him? That's there's no speculation at this point. But I just find it interesting.
Here's the thing about all of that. If you wanted to really get really technical into this, and again, gaming media fucking failing, why not go into research about when the restructuring was going to be set up? Because remember, before it was even known that Kojima might, before all this stuff exploded, Kojima was reassigned as a contract player at Konami, and he was no longer an executive over there. Now, when did that happen? Coincide with that when Metal Gear Solid 5, the Ground Zero was going to come out, and how far, maybe figure out how far in advance they would have known. A lot of times when these sorts of big company changes happen, they usually tell you, or usually tell you in advance, if something's going to change, or something, or people. There's usually whispers about it. Like when I worked in animation. We always kind of knew, when our company was like essentially bleeding money. We knew at some point that we were all going to get let go. We didn't know when. We knew it was coming soon. So maybe it could be something like that, or it could just be, you remember, also Kojima has said that this game was going to be the last game, the last Metal Gear game he's going to be working on. So
yeah, I mean, he said that before, obviously.
He said that before, but
Hey, where's Patrick Klepek, right, to uncover this shit? He's supposed to be like the guy who does this sort of stuff, uncovering the goods. Where you at, Patrick?
Come on, Patrick Klepek he's actually, the only thing I can give to Patrick Klepek is that he's actually going out there and asking these questions as opposed to just putting out the story and being like, oh, what's this all about?
Yeah, I just find it funny that because I showed that video to Manny, like, this thing sold, and I'm like, dude, literally every single major gaming site is reporting on this today.
Thing ever. It's also like today, there's just some of the sites were like, oh, the Metal Gear bundle is coming out in the UK. Again, old fucking news. It's coming out in the UK. Yeah, I know about this, and that's what I was talking about days ago on my Twitter.
Yeah, Manny,
and posting photos of.
I saw you starting trouble on Twitter, man. What's going on?
I'm not starting trouble. I'm just saying, like, hey, we know this is number one. First of all, I keep saying this on my Twitter at the same time. This is the special Metal Gear Solid 4 PlayStation, Metal Gear Solid 5 PlayStation 4 bundle that's in every other country except for the United States or North America, which includes Canada. Is not going to happen for two reasons: Destiny and Call of Duty.
Yep. Both
of those games are going to be getting
and Star Wars.
And Star Wars. All three of those games are going to be getting special PlayStation 4s. If you've seen some of them already. And yeah, Metal Gear is not going to get one. If anything, what's going to happen is that Metal Gear is going to get one of those. They're going to do like piecemeal, just like they did last time on the PlayStation 3, where they're like, all right, now we have like 100 of these. Go at it. Like literally in Japan, you could go to a local store, like a fucking 7-Eleven, because 7-Eleven in fucking Japan sells games. You can go even there and pre-order your PlayStation Special Edition Metal Gear Solid 4 PlayStation console.
Yeah, Manny, I know you were ready to upgrade, weren't you?
Yo, man, I was ready to upgrade, but here's the thing. I was doing a little bit of research, and I realized that you can't do a console-to-console transfer on the PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yes.
That what you were talking to PlayStation about?
That's what I was talking. That's what I see. I pulled a little sneaker. I actually added PlayStation Ask PlayStation in there just to see if they would say anything, and they said, "Oh well, put this stuff on the forums." I'm like, this got me thinking. Can you do a PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 4 image, data transfer, kind of like what you can do with the PlayStation 3? And apparently you can't.
Yeah, then isn't there like a workaround for it though?
I don't know what the workaround is. I mean, maybe you uploading all of your data to your backup to your external hard drive, and then putting that on the new console. You see, it's a very sketchy. It's very sketchy right there because I remember doing it that in one way, and then not all of my data being copied over.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting situation. Like, okay, yes, you can get all your save data back, but what about those games that you kind of want to keep? PT.
Yeah, it's a good point. And the thing is, now that they have that terabyte PlayStation, people are going to probably want to do that, right?
Exactly. That's exactly. And I also mentioned that to them too. It's like, well, there's these new PlayStations that are coming out. I mean, I didn't mention the terabyte one, but I did mention the current model of PlayStation 4, which is supposed to be like 8% lighter and supposedly uses less electricity and is more energy efficient and all that other stuff. So what if you wanted to, let's say for the sake of conversation, okay, we're not talking about getting a fancy Metal Gear Solid 5 PlayStation 4. Maybe you want to get that new Destiny one, the one that comes with the Destiny expansion.
Yo, man, that shit looks nice though.
It's a nice looking console. No, I'm not gonna take that away from it. But yeah, but let's say you want maybe like Riku. Remember, Riku loves the friggin' white consoles. So let's say Riku decide, hey, you know what? I want to get myself a new console. I want to get a new console.
Niggas.
Yeah. Let's see, what if Riku wants to get a new console? He probably won't be able to copy all of his data, or all of the data that he has on there will not be able to copy.
Why the fuck can't I transfer my data to the new PlayStation?
Yeah. I would like to see somebody test that out. And the funny thing is that nobody asks these questions until the need arises. And that's probably why I decided to ask them. And they kind of gave me the, like, okay, copy everything to a hard drive, but what about the other way? Why can't you just data? Keeping your data is really important, and I hope that there's an easy way of doing this. Just on the occasion you want to upgrade to a newer console. I'm sure on Xbox it's pretty easy because it's Microsoft and they usually think that way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just found it funny last night. Like, I'm looking at my Twitter, and I see you and PlayStation going at it for like an hour.
I wasn't really going at it I was just asking questions because hypothetical. So it's like, sit there. Let's since I got you on the line, might as well ask you a couple questions, right?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, very interesting. So yeah, we'll see if the theory's right. They maybe have 100 of these available in North America or something.
I think what's going to happen is that it's going to be a very very limited run. It's not going to be like you can go to the local GameStop or Best Buy and say, hey, I want to get this. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially so late in the game when you have, when these special consoles are made, they're made months in advance. They don't just turn the switch on and be like, well, we're like 3 months, we're like 2 months away. Might as well start making PlayStations.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh man. All right. So that's all we have for the gaming news. Thankfully, there was some shit to talk about this week because it's been dry, man. Let's move on to pop culture stuff a little bit. Going back to what we were talking about with the media thing. This is interesting. Gawker is in trouble. So I found this out. Again, Gawker, when aren't they fucking doing some bullshit? So this happened after Throwdown finished recording. I saw on my Twitter everybody's going off on Gawker. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And somebody sent me a link, and I read the story. And the story is basically about this man. He was a married man, with a woman and stuff. And he was having he was setting up like a sex thing with a gay porn star, right? And I'm reading this, and I'm waiting for the point, right? And there was no point. The guy's not famous. He's related to a famous guy, but he doesn't affect any kind of thing, right? Like any he doesn't have any power basically. I'm reading this, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? And then I realized why people were mad. People were mad because they basically took somebody's private life and just blasted it all over the internet, even though this person isn't even famous or anything. And then people started flipping it around going, oh yeah, this is just like Gamergate, because they started putting those people's private lives, on the internet, and everybody went crazy. So I'm like, no, there's a difference, buddy. With the whole Gamergate thing, this was a journalist and a fucking, developer, having sex.
Yeah, it's a lot more to the real point. Yeah, right, exactly what Tony was saying. It's a journalist and a game creator.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, right there, that tells you this is bad. This is public knowledge. That right there, in and of itself, lets you know that this is okay for the public. This thing that's happening now, no, the guy has no power at all. Why the fuck are you writing his shit out everywhere? Now, obviously, this guy's whole life is destroyed and stuff. Gawker, here's the funny part. Now, Gawker, the guys who run Gawker, the business side, they took the article down, right? And then the editors, they were like, you can't do that. Your business. You're not supposed to take our shit down. It's like, you guys should not have been posting that fucking tabloid bullshit in the first place. Now, I understand that Gawker, they were billed as that. They even said, hey, today's gossip is tomorrow's news. They are a tabloid site. But at the same time, you can't be doing that shit. But then again, and here's the heart of it, you can't be expecting journalistic ethics from people who aren't fucking journalists. Let's just be honest. What are they? They're a fucking glorified blog. If you go to any Gawker site, if you click on their search thing, they'll tell you other blogs you may like, Gizmodo, Kotaku, IO9, because that's what they are. So I'm not excusing them. They obviously fucked up, but at the same time, you can't expect a fake journalist to behave like a real journalist.
Where's your so-called journalistic integrity, right?
Yeah, exactly. They had 2 of their editors resign and stuff over this shit, but
whatever.
It's like like that means anything, Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. So you're ruining so we're supposed to feel sorry. We're supposed to rally behind you for fucking ruining the life of a person that's not even actually in the public eye. It's just some dude.
Yeah,
basically. Just so happens to be related to somebody.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not above ousting somebody who's sneaking around. Like if you do a shitty thing, you run the risk of getting caught. But at the same time, you resolve this shit privately. Like if you're gonna fucking key in a wife, like, hey, your husband's running around on you, you fucking send an anonymous letter, or you make a phone call or some shit like that. And even then, do you know these fucking people? Do you know what they're doing? Maybe they have a fucking open marriage. Maybe they don't talk about that shit. I have plenty of friends who live plenty of different lifestyles. You can't judge people for what they do behind closed doors. That's their fucking business. And unless, like I said, if you know the wife, or if someone's running around on your friend, by all means, let your friend know.
You gotta tell them. Yeah, let them know. But I mean, at the same time,
This is not that thing, though.
This is not that thing. That's personal.
And then the other thing people were pissed off about, because it seemed like they were like, oh, look, he's gay. And I'm like, this is 2015. No one cares anymore if you're fucking gay. It's legal now, to marry gay people. So, yeah.
Yeah, like that's only news with politicians who go on record against gay people. Like that's when it's important, when they're like, this politician got caught sucking dick in a public rest stop. That's important because said politician had just voted against gay rights. Like then it's news. Then there's hypocrisy involved. This is just okay, so that's how this guy runs. Like again, that's probably even more evidence of you don't know what kind of deal he has at home. Maybe this is a thing him and his wife have agreed upon. And now that you've brought it to the public spotlight, somebody's going to look like an asshole. Maybe he doesn't want to throw her under the bus. Like, I'm not saying that's probably what happened. That's probably not what happened. But who the fuck are you to make this decision?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Well, it's kind of too late. Like, they used really poor judgment all around at Gawker, and now this guy's life is ruined. He's not a politician. He's not a public servant. He's not anything. And I'm not going to say anything more about it, but it's just that, like, they resigning and just going, well, and the fact that the editorial staff is even debating, like, how dare the business take this article down. It's like, why are you even debating that? Don't you even look at the horrible decision making and the lack of ethics and what into even writing and publishing it in the first place? Why do they not have a problem with that? They're just like, oh, this is what we do. What, you just out gay people? Like, that's what you do? And it's like, yeah, we got him. Like, what's the point of this? It's not news.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, we're outing gay people. I'm like, again, this is 2015. That's not really a big deal anymore. Like, what's the point of this? The only point of this, obviously, going back, because they want the stupid cheap clicks. That's why. That's what it is. But it blew up in their faces. Even the readers are like, why are you posting this shit? No, even the readers were pissed off.
Number one, the thing is that we're not, Gawker Media in general is not, they're not above any of that.
Yeah,
they're not above essentially writing something, writing the New York Post. You know what I mean? They're putting out tabloid bullshit.
Yeah, it's just another example of Gawker just doing now. And now they're talking about how we're going to change now. We're going to be more careful. It's like you probably should have been more careful in the first place. Get the fuck out of here.
Careful with what? No, you don't just say you're going to change. You're going to do it. You know what? Get your shit right, man.
Yeah, it's insane. So yeah, I need to bring it up because obviously, this kind of ties in with the whole thing with Gamergate, because they did bring up Gamergate during all. It's like, oh yeah, this happened with Gamergate. Like, no, different situation.
Don't drag us into your asshole, nest of vipers. Just because you fucked up, don't try and legitimize it by the fact that we have an actual point.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking insane. Yeah, shoving up your asshole. That's a perfect analogy too. Oh man. All right. And the last story here. This one I put in because I'm just very perplexed by this. But I was talking to Torrance about this. He brought up a good point, which I'll bring up. So anyway, Jurassic World is now the third highest grossing movie of all time, beyond Avengers. See, with me, I'm like, okay, this shit doesn't make any fucking sense. The last two movies were terrible. This movie itself is fun, but it's not exceptional in any way, and it's like the biggest fucking movie. And I was talking to Torrance about this on Twitter. It's all public, and he explained it in a way that made sense to me. He's like, you have a new generation of kids that never really seen Jurassic Park anything. They're seeing dinosaurs like this, and they're presented well in the movie. They look, good. You've never seen, you have a new generation, and that's why this movie is as big as it is now. So I'm like, I guess that's true, but to me it's weird because Jurassic World, the other Jurassic World movies were fucking terrible.
You shut your mouth.
I have a different theory.
All right, what's your theory?
And it's something that hasn't happened till recently, is that we now have with domestic releases with old movies like that were made in America. They were always released here first, and then they trickled worldwide, but they weren't shown in theaters across the world, or they didn't have simultaneous release, right? That has changed now. Our movies are released in Europe first, right? And then released here later, and then released around the world at the same time. And you know where most of our worldwide grosses come from?
China. Yeah, and look how many people they have.
Yeah, so this is why all these movies now coming out in the last few years are all of a sudden blowing up and hitting the top of of these box office returns. They're not. They used to just count domestic grosses, right? They don't anymore. They count the worldwide grosses, and it surges. Like if it resonates in China, these movies just explode, right? And they just go escalate beyond $1 billion each time, you know. So with this movie now, it's like you said, it's a new generation Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, like the other movies, weren't released in China like this now, right? They didn't release movies like that back then in these markets the way they are now. So now that they do, they're eating it up, and they're like, wow, look at this, dinosaurs, right? Boom, movie makes bank.
$1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, the domestic gross, like you feel like it made like 1.52 billion, just above what was it? Not the Cameron movies, not Titanic or Avatar, still 1 and 2. I forgot what it.
Yeah, beat out Avengers.
Avengers. It made slightly above Avengers, but not even half that gross came from the United States, right, or North America. Not half that. So 66% of that gross came from the rest of the earth, right? That's a totally new thing.
That's a great one to bring up. And then the other article I linked for you guys because I thought it was interesting. They were basically stating how these things kind of don't matter anymore because every movie now is going to be a huge blockbuster. And Chris, did they mention the whole thing with China in there? Because they mentioned about how now we have 3D movies that cost a lot of money and ticket prices in general are going up. This is the reason these movies are blowing up like that. But you're right. If you factor in the rest of the world, especially China, and then if you look at the list of top 10. They're all recent movies within the last 20 years or so. They're not old movies.
It made about 600 million locally and 900 million worldwide, which means for the rest of the world it made $900 million, but here it made $600 million, which means out of any single place it still made more money in America than it did it there, which means it probably made more money in America than it did China. So keep in mind that it's still the biggest success here.
Yeah, it is still.
Well, no, if you only look at U.S. versus China, yeah, it probably gross more here, but worldwide, the gross from here was only about 45% of the total.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it is definitely opening to a wider market, and it definitely is higher ticket prices and all that. But I do want to say, like, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I thought it was a really good movie. I mean, technically speaking, you can think what you want, but there's a very fine line to walk when you are, it's easy to fucking reimagine something like Ghostbusters is doing, but what Jurassic Park effectively did was retell all the same elements of the original Jurassic Park, but keep it in the canon timeline. I think that's also kind of the same beautiful thing that they did with Terminator, in that they're like, all right, what made this movie good? Let's break that down into its elements. Then let's effectively reassemble them in a reimagined, updated atmosphere and keep all that alongside all of the original canons. So we don't ostracize any of the original fans, but we can bring that same magic and that same experience to a new generation.
Danny, I see Manny feels the complete opposite way of you, Brett.
So essentially, they're just rehashing nostalgia at you twice. Paramount literally did the same movie twice. It's like, hey, you love this. Why don't you watch
the same
this?
Movie twice.
Oh, come on. Jurassic World and the new Terminator film both do the same goddamn things. It's like, hey, don't you think this is cool? What about this? Don't you think this is cool? Remember this? How about this?
Well, yeah, and they're both the best.
Bullshit.
They're both the best since the original.
No way.
The Terminator is the best Terminator from Terminator since.
Oh God.
And this Jurassic Park is the best fucking Jurassic Park since the original Jurassic Park.
Manny, he is right about that. Manny, Jurassic World is better than 2 and 3, and Terminator is better
personally, I think those other two were actually a lot better than that Jurassic World movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you really hated it.
That Jurassic World movie, it just was like watching a Sci-Fi Channel movie with a high budget. That's how bad that film was, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm in the middle here because I enjoyed the movie because it wasn't a train wreck like others, but at the same time, the movie was cliche heaven. Like everything you expect that movie to do, it did every single time.
Absolutely did it. But like that's the thing is that I kind of liked the like they knew how ridiculous a genetically modified dinosaur is. And so they kind of just like they kind of took the Deadpool approach of like let's just talk about how ridiculous this whole fucking concept is the whole movie. And like I kind of liked I was going to the movie expecting, you know, Chris Pratt to just like be dominating these raptors. And I love the fact that they're just like, fuck you, Chris Pratt. And they fucking run off into the jungle. Like I was like, oh, thank you.
Because it's like and like predictable as hell. It's like, well, hey, look, you're gonna listen to the. Oh, come on, we're just giving away the fucking movie. Whatever.
They said everyone saw it already. It made like $1 billion. Everybody saw the fucking movie. But anyway,
yeah, everybody's seen it.
Yeah, but no surprise here. Getting a sequel now. Here's what I want to talk about. How are you gonna make a sequel without retreading the same shit? The reason this movie worked is because it was retreading shit that happened 20 years ago. Now you're gonna retread shit that happened 2 years ago, you know, from 2018.
Like, what did it do that retreaded exactly? Like, I thought
it was the same. It was basically Jurassic Park 2.0 or 1.0. It was the same basic movie. You know, they go to this park. This time it's fully functional, and the dinosaurs escape. Something bad happens, and they escape, and they eat people. It's the same fucking premise.
What the hell else do you expect about a movie about an island full of dinosaurs other than dinosaurs chase people?
At least the other two films tried to do something totally different, as opposed to essentially rehashing the movie. The original movie over again.
Oh God! But I hated those other two movies.
They were terrible, though. They were
awful. They were awful cinema.
I'm saying that they're not. Yeah, they were awful films, but at least they weren't trying to retread the same ground, as opposed to essentially just recreating the original film with a whole new cast of characters and saying, "Oh, hey, those other guys existed too."
So just because they didn't call it a reimagining, we have issue with it. Like nobody cares.
I don't care if it's
dead.
I don't care if it's a reimagining or anything like that. But just please, we know that those movies existed. We don't need to go there. It just felt like, oh, hey, look, it's this. Hey, look, it's that. Hey, look, this scene doesn't this remind you of the scene when the car fell out of the tree?
Yeah, it reminded me of it, but at the same time, like I would much rather have something that nods to the original and does adequate fan service, even if it's a little cliche, than something that's like, I'm gonna try and reinvent this thing. Like, I don't want you to reinvent something.
I'm not asking for a reinvention either. I'm to be honest, I didn't need a new Jurassic Park film.
Yeah, I want to get to that.
Turtles and Ghostbusters and Transformers and ruining everything from my childhood. And then you look at Jurassic Park, and you know what? If they're gonna do it, at least do it like Jurassic Park. It didn't ruin the original Jurassic Park. It reminded me of the original Jurassic Park without being a shot-for-shot remake of the original Jurassic Park. It didn't bastardize it.
None of those films actually do ruin the original.
Yeah, they kind of do.
You can go and watch. You can go instead of going to see shitty new Ghostbusters. You can go watch the original Ghostbusters.
Chris,
let me list off the problems with Lost World. First of all, they took Jeff Goldblum, right, whose character was endearing and fun in the first movie, and made him this boring, pedantic character in the second movie, who was just bored through this entire movie. Let's not mention his gymnast daughter who came to fight raptors. Let's not mention the Benny Hill-like chase scenes with raptors and all of them running around an island. And then the second movie that happens when they get to San Diego, and then there's a T-Rex that somehow murders everyone on a boat where it can't fit through.
Yes.
And then escapes and runs around, and they clichély steal its baby to chase it back because they're the only people who can stop it. Not that there's a military or anything in the United States.
I'm going to say this. The super source that they have in this movie manages to outsmart every single person in that whole fucking park. Seriously? Really?
Well, here's the thing, because but they at least explained it in a way that you could buy. They don't want to kill it because it costs too much money to make, so they tried to fucking catch it and it didn't work, right? So by the time they were going to pull out Lethal Options, it's already too late. They already fucked up everything. And that is better to me than, the T-Rex broke out of the ship and ate everyone. Or
and then we went back into the hole.
What was the T-Rex's obsession with Jeff Goldblum through that movie? Like, at least I understand. Like, at least in the new movie, they're like, okay, just suspend disbelief because we're going fucking wacky here, people. All right, you're going full retard. I'm with you.
The T-Rex remembered Jeff Goldblum.
But that was a different island, though. Like that.
I know.
Yeah, and all that's predicated on the idea of like, oh, by the way, there's an extra island. You're like, well, wait, what? They showed a map in the first movie. There wasn't another island.
Yeah,
they did a pan over with a helicopter.
Oh, but which by the way, in the books, you remember how they mysteriously made Jeff Goldblum's character live?
No,
Yeah.
I
The
didn't.
Lost World. Because his character
because-
died in the original Jurassic Park,
Mm-hmm.
and
they just
in the Lost World
movie.
book, they just magically made him alive so they could make the sequel.
Yeah, because it was more catering to the movie than it was to the book universe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this comes from I can enjoy fucking Transformers on a fundamental sort of level. I can enjoy a Godzilla movie like. Yeah, okay, like I'll spend like I get it. We're moving into sci-fi as long as you give me a rolling narrative as to why we're rolling into sci-fi and not just being like I was going into expecting to be like, I don't know, we started fucking with DNA because why not? But like it makes the way they explain it kind of makes sense. They're like, kids these days, and you're like, yeah, I know, right? Kids these days. Like I could fucking believe that. Like,
actually,
why would somebody do something so idiotic because corporations and shareholders? You're like. Okay, yeah.
It's just the loosest thing ever. It's like, hey, we just wanted to make this incredibly stupid thing.
No,
but we won't tell you what's in it.
No, they explain it though. It's because
they
wanted to.
I can believe a corporation.
It's a loose explanation at best.
Yeah, it is.
That's
but
it's obviously that's the biggest problem I have with those two movies. It's just that they're like it's obvious things to push to make sense of an already dumb plot.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you can't have deep explanations anymore in movies. Look at Star Trek. Look how heartbroken I am. You go back to the old movies, right? You watch Star Trek. How much science is in Star Trek? Even if they have to make stuff up, like how technical everything is, right? Look at the Abrams movies. What do they have now? Don't specify warp speed. Just go as fast as possible. Punch it, floor it, whatever. Because it has to cater to everyone, right? Nobody's going to understand warp speed. Nobody wants a physics lesson, right? They just want to go fast, shoot lasers, blow up the bad guy, have awesome action scenes. Kirk has sex.
But I mean,
that's it. That's what he does, right? So take that, put that with dinosaurs. Chris Pratt's awesome. He rides a motorcycle. He trains raptors. He's fucking badass. It's him versus the fucking super smart dinosaur that nobody can kill but him because he's so fucking badass.
It's also and the thing is that in original Star Trek, yes, the thing is that you're also thinking about Star Trek as far as like Next Generation Star Trek. And Next Generation Star Trek, went
even older.
He's talking about even the older Star Trek movies.
The old ones never really went into how they had their rules, but they didn't go into their rules. Like it still was
what's his Chris Pine running around shooting people and having sex. That's all it was. And Zachary Quinto looking
There was always levels of stuff. Like original series didn't explain too much stuff. Next Generation, they were techno babbling up the wazoo. But even in original series, phasers had multiple settings. There was multiple things. There was different variables of warp speed. There's all this stuff. That's all out the window now at the Abrams movies.
They definitely.
You kill the fucker that's shooting at you. And,
they definitely had their rules.
Just make sure everybody's getting laid, and just have fun.
They definitely had their rules in the original series. Like they had rules that they couldn't break. But I mean, yeah, definitely in the new movies, it's like everything that happens is to service the plot as opposed to like making empirical sense.
Okay, let me pick you up while we're going through warp. You can't.
I mean, come on, you already know you're in Crazy Town when you have a fucking black hole machine.
Yeah.
But look at
Tony froze pausing.
So in original Jurassic Park, remember all the characters go through the little ride and they get the lesson on DNA. Like Mr. DNA explains like mosquitoes and we spliced in frog DNA and all that stuff. He's giving you a science lesson. He's giving the characters a lesson, but you're learning at the same time.
Exactly.
But things have changed now. Like a lot of people are not going to sit through that now. Like it's sad, really, but people don't give a shit about that. That's why they just show Chris Pratt fucking like training raptors and shit. It's like, oh, he's so badass. Look at that.
It's like, hey, he's awesome, doesn't he?
He's talking about raptors getting laid. He's like, they gotta fuck. They gotta, they gotta eat. All this stuff.
I kind of like in the movie even like he goes to explain a couple times. People are like, blah, 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 I don't care. Like they kind of even like shine a little bit of a light on that, and like they even point out in the movie, like, is it really so fucking ridiculous that we're doing with that we're toying with their DNA? They're half fucking frog. They look nothing like the real dinosaurs probably looked. They're just a genetic guess to sell tickets. None of this is real. Like, I appreciate that.
There was a meta message going on too about how audiences expect bigger and badder and more explosives. No, that was a meta thing. I love how my internet shit out when I was making point about Star Trek. I love the black hole machine that also sells as a time machine. Don't forget about that. And also the super robot that could destroy the universe.
Tony, you turned into a robot.
Yeah, Tony, you're doing Mr. Roboto.
I want to sing the Snoop Dogg song. I want to sing that song.
Yeah, you still sound like a robot.
God damn it. I don't know how to stop that.
Yeah, what did I do?
Obelisk, look, it's Unicron.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing in movies now. It's like they try to make it fun. They try to include enough stuff to include everybody in on the plot without getting too deep. We didn't get another DNA lesson. We didn't get. They mentioned the frog stuff, but near the end, and it's like, oh, it could chameleon because we took this frog from this area and whatever. It's like they tried to put in a little bit of stuff.
It's just like oh yeah, we just made the most horrible horrible thing ever.
Yeah, it's like they made the super nice, and of course there's things that logically don't make sense. It's like, oh, it's not in the pen, we don't see it. So why didn't you radio the guy before and say, hey, can you turn on the tracker, where is it? And then he would go, it's still in the pen. And you go, oh, I guess we can't see it because of the trees. Movie over, but they didn't do that because that would make a good movie, right? And what makes a great movie is it's fucking busting out, trying to eat everyone in its path, and it's fucking smarter than these guys who are like
it's smarter than all the stupid people that run Jurassic Park.
No, just smarter than the fat stupid guy who let it out in the first place. After that, man,
it's literally smarter than every single person in that fucking
it's
place.
not smarter than every single person, literally.
Literally, it's outsmarted their elite special team of 10 guys.
Well, those guys were pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, like,
okay, and then I'm totally fucking ruining this movie.
Wolves would outsmart you because, like, you'd look at one wolf and another one would come in from the side from you. Like, that's what fucking wolves do. Like,
yeah, but that was in the first movie. That was the clever girl thing. That was the best thing ever. Muldoon went to hunt one, and he realized, oh shit, they double teamed me, and he got eaten. Like, that was cool. That was smart. But they're like, oh, this thing is too smart and too evil or whatever.
Yeah, we've accidentally created a monster.
Yeah, and also, like, it just, I don't know, it appeals to audiences. It's like seeing a woman run in high heels against a T-Rex when we all saw the first movie, and we know the T-Rex can almost outrun a fucking Jeep going at full speed. So her running in high heels really doesn't make any sense, that she could get even an inch away from it before it eats her.
Total spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, you're still, you still sound like a robot.
Tony's here to subjugate the human race.
I can't face it.
The high heel thing was in the trailer anyway.
Tony, can you say one thing? Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
Perfect. Yes.
Somebody soundbite that.
Maybe close out the show if I can't do it.
Oh, what was that?
You gotta close out the show.
Oh, I gotta close out the show? Alright. So, I guess that's the end of the show, right?
Yep.
Well, sorry about going on the little Jurassic Park rant, but that's all cool. So, what do we got here? Make sure to listen to the Throwdown on the coalition.com. Also, make sure to head over to our Twitter, which is @ThrowdownShow.
No, you got to do the post show.
Yeah. Post-show.
What? What's the post show notes? Where are we?
Okay,
I got it.
Let's do
Hey,
shout out to
yeah.
Nerd Knots for their final
Oh, yeah, I
episode.
didn't have the thing open, sorry.
Yeah. Shout out to. There you go. Listen to Chris.
Yeah,
Yes.
check out Baby in the Beard on the Coalition's YouTube. Matt and Jaden talk about comics on camera, so you can see their faces, so that's exciting. And you got to check out our boy Charles Singletary. He's doing Comics Over Coffee. This is personal videos on his YouTube channel, so go check that out. And Tony will be playing Street Fighter V extensively this weekend if the beta decides to work. So you're going to want to hit up Tony and the rest of us with questions for TYQ this Sunday. Specifically for Street Fighter V.
Also, if anybody's interested, shoot us over a comment and come play Ark with us, because the game is awesome and we could always use a Throwdown tribe.
Yeah.
Play the game. It's amazing.
I definitely want to get on that. I just haven't had time.
It'll eat your face. Make sure you're in a good, stable place in both your work and personal life before you play this game, because it will tax both of them like old school World of Warcraft, man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's one of those.
So, have you seen any big civilizations beyond your own?
Oh
that
yeah,
game?
man! Like there was one superpower who fought with another superpower, and then the third one, and then it dissolved into anarchy for a while, and then one of the original three rose up, and they're somewhat policing the server, and now there's about 5 new tribes. We've started a trading empire. We're building into a second base, but we're about to go to war with a fucking tribe to the north of us because they're just pissing us the fuck off. And this is this has been all while Rachel's been going through surgery, and one of our tribe members had a seizure. So quite frankly, I'm pissed at these guys, and I asked them what the fucking problem is, and they said they just don't plain fucking like us. So you know what? I'm farming 1,000 grenades, and I'm coming for you, Ghost Tribe. I'm fucking coming for you.
So, yes, now, make sure to subscribe to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. All of our information is below. Also, make sure to head over to thecoalition.com because we're awesome. And, yeah, that's it. So, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Robo Tony.
Robo Tony will destroy mankind.
That actually works really well.
I'd like to thank Chris Seeley,
Hey, guys, pleasure.
Mr. Brett Murdock,
It's been real. I can't even think of a witty thing to say because of Tony's robot voice.
Robo Tony wins.
and I'm Emilio Lopez. See you next time.
Tony, say the humans are dead.
Humanity will die by my hand.